Girl, hey, yeah, hey, you ever give head in a car with 160 dB smacking you in the back of the head? No? Hey, well, what can I get for 10 bucks? What's up, everybody? Good morning. It's Saturday. Well, it's my Friday. It's Saturday because I'm off the next 2 days. And I'm going to do some sub swapping in here once again. Why? Because these are Team G2 subs, the Genesis. And the reason I'm running these is Paul only offers the Genesis in a dual 4 configuration, and it really wasn't going to work for me. So he built me recones for these and put a pretty carbon fiber cap on them, which is not seen, but I really impressed him with the numbers that I got out of these. And he likes the way, and I do things kind of molecularly, I guess. I don't know. But I did break them in because I realized they were very tight. So I kind of loosened the spiders up, which you need to do on subs that are really tight if you have a lot of power. If not, you're just gonna rip the spider pack. I've seen it happen. So yes, sometimes loosening suspension up is a good thing and needed. But a lot of people were like, yeah, but them are team subs. What would the regular Genesis do? So we're gonna find out. He sent me 4 of the regular Genesis. I got them. I'm gonna put those in here, and I'm gonna do a lot of testing with the regular old Genesis, which is, I gotta be very careful. A break-in is definitely gonna be needed, and I'm gonna have to strap my amplifiers to do it. And right now, each amp's at 1 ohm per 15, and I'm gonna have to strap the amps. I'm gonna have 2 1 ohm loads as a final load, and each amplifier is gonna be at a half. So definitely had to turn them down. And then when I start burping, I can slowly turn the amps back up, just see what I can get out of them. But anyway, guys, I might do the sub swap tomorrow or the next day. I don't know. I want to meter these again because they're more broke in now than they were when I metered last time. I think they're a little looser. Oh, they're still tight as hell. But anyway, with that being said, I want to get into the subject of the day's video, and that is young bass heads. Guys that are young and just getting into our hobby because they've seen videos of me or Steve Duncan or Crisley, the loud ass guys, or they might have seen, you know, a car at a local car show bumping and got interested. And I mean, that's kind of how I got hooked. You know, the first time I heard subs was in my cousin's car, and from that first moment as a kid, I was hooked. And that happens still today to people. I'm sure it does. But what happens when you're a young bass head in this hobby? Some pretty shitty stuff, obviously, because I've seen posts on some of these bass head groups. Y'all know that I think most of the bass head groups are shit, but you know, when you get a kid that posts his first video up because he's happy as hell with a set of Sony Explodes on a cheap Rockville amp, and then people bash him, rather than being like, yeah, that's cool, bro, you know, basically welcoming a new bass head into our hobby with open arms, they catch tons of shit because they're not running Sundown or DC or DD or whatever, you know, Def Bonds. Well, we all start somewhere. That's the whole point. We all start somewhere. It's like, for instance, at my show, the Team Hertz Donut show that we did, I had a kid who follows me on social media who was happy to meet me, happy to give me a demo. I was happy to get a demo from him. And it was kind of, he had a pretty decent system for what he had. I was surprised by it. But he wanted me to sign his sub. I took that as like a big deal for me. And I'm like, well, hell yeah, I'll sign your sub, bro. But I put the video up, and the first thing people are saying is, I wouldn't have signed a Scar. Really? Why? Why? I mean, he's a young bass head. We're trying to get him to enjoy the same hobby that we enjoy. You know, this kid might have 115 now, and in 4 years, he might have a Suburban still caged with like 2012s in it. We don't know what the future holds for him. That is the whole point. You know, we need to welcome these kids with open arms, because some of us are going to be, you know, audio installers, audio dealer. A lot of bass heads work in the audio field, whether it's building enclosures for people, wiring stuff up. A lot of guys have laser cutters and make products for us, hood props, speaker grills. All of it's audio related. Why bash on a young bass head now? Just because he ain't running the brand that you want him to run. I mean, at that point, you're just turning him away. He's all happy, and I remember how happy I was at my first system, dude. I was extremely happy, and I wanted to show that shit off. Even though it wasn't nothing, I wanted to show it off. But when this happens and they go from being extremely happy to upset because someone louder than them with name brand shit they can't afford at the moment disses them, it makes them want to take all their shit out and be done. So, you know, why bash people? I mean, we all know I hate Scar EVLs. I think it's one of the worst subs made. But I don't bash somebody for running it. I'm just saying, hey, you know, you could do better. I try to give advice. And anymore, nobody even wants to hear that in audio groups. Whether you're right or wrong, whether you can lay the TS parameters down in front of them and prove they're wrong, they don't want to hear it. And, you know, it is what it is, you know, because it's the power of the group. And by the power of the group, I mean, you can lay evidence out in front of some people and let them know that they could do better than a Scar EVL. It's like the DDX. Some of you guys have commented that after hearing my comparison of the DDX, which is Scar's best sub, to the EVL, some of you guys have swapped and gained a couple dBs just by swapping. But with that being said, there's hundreds of people in the audio groups. It's like, oh, I got EVLs and they bang. Because you've never heard a system that actually bangs probably, but the power of the group says that the EVL is a phenomenal sub, and you're going with what the power of the group says. You don't care what facts are presented in front of you. You're going with the power of the group. That right there proves that the group has power, and all these comments have power. So when a young basshead puts a video of his system in the group, and he ain't floating anything, and he's not hair tricking, and he's running a brand that's probably all he could afford at the time, and you all diss him, that group has power, and it has power enough to make him want to leave the hobby. We don't want bass heads to leave the hobby. We want young bass heads to grow. It's like when you see somebody wire something up and it's the shittiest wiring job ever, rather than make fun of them, be like, you know, hey bro, you could probably do this, you could do this, or I wouldn't run that lamp extension cord as a power wire, maybe, you know, save up, or ask some people in the group, somebody might have some laying around that they will send you cheap. But rather than that, you want to diss the people. And I've never used a lamp cord, I don't think, as a power wire, but I've used some pretty sketchy shit. Back in the day when I couldn't afford like 4-gauge, which, and when I was younger, 4-gauge was monster wire. I mean, that was like the biggest shit ever. You know, I was going to AutoZone and buying them little rows of like 10-gauge. And in one of my cars, I think I had like 10 runs of that shit from front to back. But I was young and stupid and didn't know better, and we didn't have YouTube or Facebook for help. We had to learn shit on our own. But yeah, if you guys know somebody young just getting in this hobby, man, it ain't gonna hurt to try to help, give some advice or whatever, you know. Just do what you can. Try to be nice to the young guys. I have sit in so many cars at shows because of the popularity I got off TikTok, and it don't matter what they're running. I tell them their shit's nice. I tell them their shit sounds good. And, you know, for what it is, it does sound good. And that's the whole point. They don't have to be hair tricking and, you know, doing 150 plus because they're new in the hobby. They're proud of what they built. Be proud with them, man. Don't take that moment away from them. I hope this sheds some light on the whole subject, guys. It's not really a rant, it's just factual. If you're big in the car radio community, eventually you're going to try to start making a living, or you're getting a little kickback with extra income from it. Don't try to push that away, man. Help the young guys out, or the noobs in the hobby. That's today's message, guys. Peace out, and as always, guys, bass on.